A while back, when I first became aware of GMOs, that's all I could think of. I don't know what's 10, when I say first became, I meant politically. 10 years, 12, I don't know. I had always heard about them, but I never really understood how prolific they were. I never understood how dangerous they were, potentially, and how we knew nothing about them, and how nobody seemed to care anything about them, and how they were confusing GMOs, genetically modified organisms, with hybrid plants or something. I talked about BTK killer, BT corn. This is the, now you got me wondering what it is. It's BT corn, I believe, right? BT corn, hang on a minute. This is from Monsanto, remember that? Yes, BT corn, yes. Entomology, basically it produces, it's this GMO that basically produces an artificial insecticide. And of course we knew names like Monsanto and Bayer and glyphosate, and the fact that it was the most important issue, that there was a labeling issue in California, and should these be at least labeled? Is it too much for us to just put in a label? Can we just, or you got it? Okay, good. Well then, all of a sudden, for reasons I don't understand, it just went away. It just went away. And I'm saying there are kids who are born who will never know real food, real actual food, what they're getting by virtue of their wheat or their corn or their soy or their sugar through beets, all GMO, all artificial, never existing in the tapestry of human nature. And nobody cares. Gone. I want to talk about that very quickly. But first, let me remind you, of course, to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And don't forget our sponsor, just going to say this once, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. The best. And now they've got closeout sales. They've got sales like you can't believe, but you got to go to MyPillow.com, and if you put in promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. And what they are selling, and I can't say this enough, toppers are great. Before you get a new mattress, think about a topper, something that just kind of adds some life and comfort to your mattress. But more importantly, the slippers are going out of control. I mean, out of control. So MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Pillows, temperature controlled, you name it. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, and you get a free gift. I know, tautological, but nonetheless. Okay. Years ago, this debate came up. It still does. Why is there a child obesity problem? Why is there a child obesity problem in this country? Why? What is it? What is this child obesity problem? What the heck is going on with these kids who are morbidly obese? What is it? And it turns out one of the reasons may be because when we were kids, and by the way, we weren't running around all the time. People say, well, we were on our bikes. We're not on our bikes all day long. The food was different. Remember when you were a kid and you had food that was calorie dense? I remember people who were not overweight, but every night they had pie or cake and ice cream. After their meal, they had, these were not skimpy meals. And even with processed foods to an extent, yeah, there was more sugar, but these were not necessarily or in any way dangerous by virtue of whatever. Well, make a long story short, one of the things which might have been different is because it was actual food. You actually ate corn, real, honest to God corn. Think about that. You really did. It was corn. And wheat, your wheat, they had varieties. There is corn, by the way, since NAFTA, a lot of the endemic or the inherent, the heritage and this heritage type of corn, so to speak, artisanal. Give you an idea, not too far from us, every year they have this little get-together foods of people from South America, indigenous areas of South America and Central America, and they cook this stuff that's just incredible. But the corn they have, not so much just the colors, but the size of the kernels. I've never seen anything like it. This heirloom kind of corn. Well, that's being completely eradicated by virtue of statutes and the like, where we today have this artificial, so to speak, it looks good, but this genetically modified, genetically manufactured, genetically affected corn that looks like corn, puts out a tremendous yield, maybe in some cases Roundup resistant. Let me tell you how that one works. Imagine you were selling soybean. And your soybeans, they tend to have a lot of weeds. A lot of, it's a big problem. So what did they do? Well, simple. What you do is if you use Roundup, Monsanto puts it out, Roundup, it takes care of the weeds. Well, if it takes care of the weeds, you can hurt the plant. Now we have soy and other types that are Roundup resistant, where they have been genetically modified so that this particular iteration of this is resistant to Roundup. And also, you're going to get a bigger yield, big, bushy, huge bunches of soy and wheat, and it's going to be great and wonderful. And not resistant to these things. Isn't that something? How does this work? How does this even work? Well, I got to tell you. By virtue of genetic manipulation and the like, this is what we are seeing. And it's something that blows my mind. And when you ask people, why are kids so heavy today, so fat? One of the reasons might be because they are not in any way eating regular food. This is something which is incredible. Regular food. So when we were kids and Mom made us this stuff with apple pie with real apples and real flour and real sugar and real, out of sugar cane, stuff that was, calorie dense, of course, versus sugar that's made from sugar beets, which is GMO. Canola oil from soy and the like, and processed soy protein and all of that, GMO. Not that soy is a problem, but GMO. Wheat, sugar, corn, soy, go down the list. There was a story years ago I read where some of the farmers in India were committing suicide because what they were doing was their water buffaloes were dying. And nobody could figure out what was going on. Well, after they did autopsies or necropsies of these fallen water buffalo, they found out that they had huge clumps, huge amounts of undigested, unprocessed food or wheat or whatever it was. And it was believed that was almost an analog to what we would consider mono, that mono where you're not able to absorb certain foods, and also celiac disease. Celiac, which is also an analog where some people believe might be because of GMOs, where people are not able to handle wheat, to absorb nutrients. It's a strange reaction to gluten. Anyway, do you remember celiac like this when you were a kid? No. Do you remember peanut allergies? No. Things are completely different. All I know is there was talk about this. There was a move to say, can we just have labeling on food that says whether something is GMO or whether it's not. That's all. Shouted down, voted down. It was wonderful to hear people talk about it. And then I always like and prefer organic or non-GMO. You can tell if you look at the corn today, corn is out of season. There's some stuff that's like out of season. This stuff should not be. And what the effects are over a period of time, we will never know. So the issue was only just labeling. So we've forgotten it through our amnesia. We just forgot it. And it's one of those things that I just don't understand about us. Is it because we have a learning disability collectively? Is it the fact that we have a hard time following all the information? I don't know. But in any event, dear friend, I thank you for your time and your effort. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And don't forget our sponsor, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, and get a free gift. And thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. And please comment as you see fit.